You've landed on planet 412. I'll be your captain of sorts as we navigate this strange, cryptid-filled world. Join me on the quest for truth, through the strange, mysterious, and supernatural. This is Planet 412.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Planet 412. It's exciting to do another live stream. I know we had a couple weeks off from doing the live stream, but it's awesome to come back with one of my best friends and one of my favorite shows and show hosts, Rye Voss from Codex. We're just going to jump right in at everybody and bring Rye to the show. Hey, Rye, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good, Matt. Doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing all right. Like I said, took a little break from the stream, from the live streams, but I'm excited to jump back into it and have you the first one to hop back into it with.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, I find it more difficult to find the time to do the live streams, even though they're easier, because there's no editing after. There's none of that. It's just done. You don't have to worry about it. But it's the scheduling. Like I have all my interviews scheduled for Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I just, I'm spending the time, and I'm sure you know this too, editing and getting everything ready. And it just takes a lot out of you. And it's not like I don't like doing the lives. It's just, I'm drained. And sometimes I'm just like, oh man, where do we get this? Now, Matt, there's something I found out that maybe you don't know on lives. So do you know that you, the channel host, can gift out 10 free memberships a month?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. So do you want to try doing it? Give it a shot?
I would love to do that.
Okay. So what you need to do is you need to go to the YouTube live that's on right now, not in their StreamYard that we're doing it, but go to the YouTube live on so you go to YouTube, go to your channel, go
like
to the
on
live.
My phone, do it?
No, I think you got to do it on your computer. So you got to open up a separate tab.
Okay.
And when you do that, you go to the live chat.
All right. So obviously, do you still see me on the camera?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
All right. Hold on one sec. I do not see. All right. I'm in studio right now. I'm jumping to
your channel.
Yeah. Hold on.
No problem. I'll keep everybody. So everybody, we're going to be gifted out. Matt's going to be gifting out whether he wants 5, because each one is either 5. You can do 2 5s, or you can give them. Well, I mean, you can just gift out all of them at the same time if you want. So when you get into the live chat, there'll be a little money sign. Okay.
Okay.
Do you see that? You click on that.
Hold on one sec. All right. I am at the main page.
Okay. So then you click on live on your you'll see.
Okay,
you'll have a
playlist live.
Yeah. And then go to the chat that's happening right now, and then you'll see where you can type in. There's an emoji, and just to the right of it, there's a money.
Hold on one sec. I'm gonna turn the volume off real quick on.
Yeah, you got to mute that. You got to mute your the actual live on YouTube.
Okay, wait.
Now, but
this, should I mute this?
So mute the actual live stream on not the stream, not ours, but mute YouTube. And now you've muted your mic.
Okay, it sounds horrible. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem.
No, I haven't. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Okay, now I'm muted. Okay. You don't hear me at all, right?
I can hear you talking. Yeah.
Okay, but there's no double.
No. There's no double. Even when you're talking, there's no double either. You're only hearing the double though. Okay. So okay. So now in the live chat, where you type in chat, there's emoji, and then there's a dollar. It looks like a dollar sign.
So, I see dollar sign.
Okay, you click on that.
It's like a dollar bill at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. You click on that, and at the very bottom, it says membership gifting. You click on that.
Okay.
And it will say you can gift out 5 or like 10. So you.
Okay, now Okay, I don't hear you anymore either.
Oh, okay. So you just want to you want to gift out the 5 or 10 memberships. You can do it for free.
I don't see where it says that, Rye.
It should say membership gifting or gift
That's
membership.
where I am right now, but it does not say for free.
Okay, what does it say? Does it say?
It just has prices.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know what's going on there. We'll do it another time. We'll do it another time.
Yeah, here. In fact, I'll show you, Ryan. I'm gonna take a picture and show you because I want to do
no
this.
problem. Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna send it to your phone.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's a great thing.
There's a problem.
So, hey, everybody in the chat, good to see you.
I just sent it to your phone.
No problem. Text or messenger?
Your gift. I sent it to your text.
There we go. I got it.
It said gift memberships to this channel's viewers. Your gift will be publicly announced.
Okay. Okay. Back out of that one. Is there another one do you have another one that gives you the ability to do that?
Here, I'm backing out.
Yeah.
Because I want to do it.
Yeah. So you click on the money sign again, and maybe is there membership or something? I don't know. Because when I do it, I get the ability to gift out memberships.
Yeah, the only one it says is it says each one, there's 2 of them.
Yep.
And they both have prices. Nothing says for free.
I have no idea then. Okay, that's really strange because I can do that. Really strange that you can't.
What happened to me? Now I'm not on
screen. I know. I know. We'll figure it out. Though. I don't want to waste all the time doing that.
Okay, now let me shut out my YouTube real quick.
Yeah. Troll Pros is going to give it a try. Stacy's going to give it a try.
Yes, my wife is going to try because I am having an issue. Leave it to the wife.
Yeah, so every month you can gift out 10 memberships.
All right, you guys can hear me again?
Yeah. We never could not stop hearing you.
All right, good. Everybody, I want to do this and I'm going to do it for you. So
Zillion Badillion Senior. No, all you need is 1,000 subs.
I have
and you can do
more than that. So.
Yeah, so I have 3,000. Matt has like quadruple that, so he has definitely the ability to do that. But another day, another time, we'll figure it out.
I promise I will, everybody. And while we're at it, I just want to say hello to everybody real quick. Thank you to everybody who showed up for the live stream tonight. PG 63 Zillion Badillion Senior, BJ Sweetheart, hello, DJ Tyler, Masochist Mouse, that's not going up, and everybody else, hello.
So tonight we're jumping into the Skinwalker Ranch. Am I correct?
Yes, we are. Something I am extremely interested in. And guys, I'll get to everyone. I did not say your name, I promise. And
Stacy, thank you for watching.
Yes, Stacey. Hello to my wife, Griffin Eagle 7. I will get to all of you, I promise. I've been watching things about Skinwalker Ranch, Rye, forever. And I brought something else up here. What I wanted to show you guys, and well, at least talk to you guys about tonight, was like the history of people who have owned Skinwalker Ranch, a timeline.
Okay, so even before we get there, can I just do something and then you pick it up after that? So just a basic, so you're going to do the timeline, but I'm going to do the basic location and background, which you're going to do the background. So Skinwalker Ranch is located in Uintah?
It's Uintah, something like that.
Uintah County in Utah, covering 512 acres. It sits near the Ute Indian Reservation. It has a long history of paranormal UFO activity. The area has been considered a hotspot for centuries and the Ute tribe believes the land is cursed and haunted by skinwalkers, malevolent, shape-shifting beings from Navajo lore. And Matt, you can pick it up from there.
Yeah, and if I'm pronouncing that, Gareth Dixon, by the way, thank you, love you too, everybody. And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, here, let me make sure.
I know
how
it's
do you
Ute.
spell it, Rye?
Utah. Is it Utah? It's you. Let me just. I had something open up here for. I would be ready for this. UINTAH.
All right, I'm gonna have the thing say it for us.
Yeah, me too.
Pronounce.
Uinta.
Did you? That's how pronounced.
Yeah,
You got
Uinta.
it. All right. So thanks, Rye, for getting it to it before me. So here's a timeline of ownership and investigations. 1934 to 1994. Kenneth and Edith Myers owned the ranch. From 1994 to 1996. This is when it gets interesting, when things start just getting, recorded and people start talking about the crazy stuff. This is Terry and Gwen Sherman own the ranch. This is when, they are starting to the day they get there, they're unpacking, and this is when, if anybody is familiar with Skinwalker Ranch, the family goes in, and they weren't really told too much. Rye, if you're obviously, I'm sure you're familiar with some of it. They weren't overly told about the things that
wasn't in disclosure. Wasn't disclosed.
And those here tonight, I'm sure if anybody is familiar with this, they did not tell them too much, which is really not a great thing to do. And the day that they're unpacking, a gigantic wolf, the largest wolf that they had ever seen, and we're talking about the wolf that everyone thinks is dead. What's the giant wolf they think is dead? Oh God, somebody help me out.
What, the Beast of Bray Road? No,
not a dog man or anything like that. There's actually a video of a guy and his dog that a dire wolf. BJ, thank you. Leave it to BJ to help me out there. She is phenomenal. Love you, BJ. So a dire wolf, they thought it was something, or maybe even bigger than that. It ends up walking up on the family as they are unpacking. What happens is they actually are so shocked by, they're very nervous as this thing comes up, and it slowly walks up, and it's very nice to them. They actually start to kind of, pet it a little bit, which I would not have done. But they're petting it. They start to pet it. Wow, my God. It goes from fear to just like, oh my God, where did this thing come from? It's so sweet. Oh my, this is crazy. I've never seen an animal like this. And then it starts to leave. As it's starting to leave, there is a pen that they had put their cows for the short term. Well, what occurs next is when everything starts to go crazy. There is a young cow. What do they call the young ones?
What's that, sorry?
What do they call young cows?
Calves.
Yes, there's a calf that sticks its head out beneath the two bars of one of the pens that they had stuck these. And it's just kind of watching this wolf. And all of a sudden, the wolf notices the calf, and then all hell breaks loose. It grabs the calf with its mouth and it's trying to literally pull this poor thing through the bars, which it's not going to fit through it. And this thing's screaming. All the other cows, its mother, are going crazy. They're beating it with pieces of wood. The father screams, "Get me my 357. It's in the truck's glove compartment." He gets his 357. He unloads this thing into it. It does not react. He yells, "Get me my rifle." He had like a 30-06 or something. He had He shoots it. The thing does not react. Now, I don't recall if it was the 30-06, which was the biggest rifle he had,
Mhm.
or if it was a different rifle and then that was the one he used at the end. But whatever he had gotten to, the last one, he used one rifle, didn't react. He got to the biggest one at the end. This thing never showed any pain, never did not react. It just finally just decided, well, I'm not going to get this thing through. It's too big. I'm leaving. And it just slowly starts to leave. And as it leaves, he shoots it, I think, again, and they notice a big chunk of flesh. Now, either, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, the chunk of flesh comes off when he's shooting it while it's trying to pull the poor thing through the bars, or it happens as it's and it's just walking away, never shows signs of pain. And one of the times it just, a chunk of flesh comes by and it walks away. One of the strange things they noticed is as it's walking away, he compared it to like a snake. It's walking away in this manner, like snake-like, just the way it's walking. And he's just like, man, we cannot let this thing stay in this area. We have to put it down. So he yells to his son, get whatever rifle. Guys, tend to the calf. And the calf lived. They brought a specialist in to sew it up and all that. But he told his son, we are going to track it. We're going to find out where it lives and we're going to put it down. We cannot allow this thing to come back and kill our animals. Well, they follow its tracks all the way down to where there's a river, like a wash that's not, the water had receded and it's just a big, huge, muddy, just wash at the moment. And they notice this tracks. Well, they follow these tracks and all of a sudden they get to a point where the tracks are stopped. They're gone. They just all of a sudden disappear. Like either it had walked through a portal or something picked it up and it just disappeared.
Or just disappeared.
Yeah, and it's just insane. And they had a ton of other they had a ton of other things. I mean, so many different types of things.
Yeah, but before we go too far, so that chunk of flesh that came off,
they got back and it smelled.
Yeah,
like
it was
flesh.
Yeah, it was like rotting
and green.
I did not know it was green, but
correct.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They said, when they the chunk of flesh was blowing off when they hit it, but they said it did not collapse or react in pain, and they said there was like no blood and it was rotten. Even
like
though
it had been there for days.
Yeah.
I agree with you, BJ. They should have sent it off to get tested. Griffin Eagle, I think it's after it went back again, but it wouldn't let go. I'm not sure. It might have I don't recall, but all of that occurred in the same day. Let's see, BJ. Thanks, Carol. My mom is 86 and is getting into. Oh, sorry, she was talking to somebody else.
Yeah, no. So yeah, BJ's mom is in the chat here. That's Bonnie. Bonnie Moore.
Hi, Bonnie. How are you? It's nice to see you. She's a sweetheart. I think I had had a lot. It was a live stream I did with Christopher Garatano, and she had come into the live stream as well. Nice to see you too. So they just had a absolutely crazy amount of things that had started to occur. They noticed also that night that all the windows and doors had a ridiculous amount of locks, extra locks for huge padlocks and chains, and they started to wonder, what is going on here? Why are these things? Something's up.
Yeah.
And other things started occurring where he's doing work on the ranch, and huge pieces of machinery that he used to work on the ranch would disappear, and then days later they'd be up at the top of a tree, like hundreds of pounds these things would weigh.
And that sounds like the phenomenon that we call apport. It's a poltergeist or paranormal phenomena where things disappear and then reappear. So that's what they call a port. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, it was like a rototiller, I think is what it was. And it weighed like 300 pounds. And he had asked us, well, honey, did you see where the tiller is? How could it be gone? And then lo and behold, it's at the top of this tree. And he's just like, how on earth could that be there? So it's just a ton of other things that had occurred there. And it was just, gotten more and more crazy. They saw everything from orbs, huge balls of light, orbs, giant ones, not just tiny little ones, huge ones, to seeing shadow beings, to hearing, all kinds of strange noises or disembodied, conversations where they would yell out to these voices and they would stop talking or they would comment back to them. And, a lot of different things. So, getting to 1996, and I'm leaving out a ton, obviously.
Yeah, and that it wasn't a rototiller; it was a post hole digger.
Oh, thank you, because I almost said that. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah.
In 1996, Robert Bigelow, who is a very extremely wealthy man, he is the founder of aerospace company. The company Bigelow Aerospace acquires the property because he is big time into high strangeness, UFOs, all kinds of things like, ghosts and Bigfoot type things and that. And what he helps to do in 1996 through 2002 is he helps put together the National Institute for Discovery Science, or NIDS. NIDS. The program operates on the property until 2016, and you have some of the most intelligent scientists on the planet who live at some points for months on end at this property, and then they go out, other people come in, and there's always somebody there working on that property. They say that he did not always relinquish all of the kinds of things that occurred there, that he didn't always give all of the information of things that happened. One of the things I know for a fact that, of course, there's always types of information I remember seeing a documentary that they spoke about, with Bigelow's NIDS guys, that the one guy that was in charge of the security on the property, he actually works with the group that you see on TV right now. That's big into that. And he talked about, this is one of my favorite experiences. He said that they would sometimes go to the top of the mountain there, the range, and they would use night vision goggles. And he said one night they were at a lower point and there was a higher point, and he was there with another security guy, and they were looking around, and he said that one of them looked up, and he said all of a sudden he noticed in his goggles that there was just these two gigantic sets of, just two eyes looking down at them, and the shape was like a gigantic set of cat's eyes. They were red, and when he pulled his set of night vision goggles down, it wasn't there. He put them back up, and this thing was looking. And he said he grabbed the guy next to him, and he looked, and he could see them with the glasses, and they both agreed that if this thing, now obviously it was supernatural because you weren't seeing it with your naked eye, but they talked about the size of just the eyes itself, if it was connected to like an animal, how large whatever it had to be would have just been huge, like a huge grizzly bear or larger. And this thing stared at them for a long period of time, and then just decided it got bored, turned around and walked away. And there was a lot of other things. They talked about one day that they were at the top of the mesa and they saw a portal open, and
Yeah.
some type of humanoid being came out, and the portal closed behind it, and it looked up at them on the mesa, and it started to run at them at unbelievable speeds that no human could ever run at. And it started to run up at them, and the one security guy said, I immediately felt terrible fear because, the speed it had was just, again, nothing a human could do. And he said, I just, pulled my gun up, I turned the safety off and figured, here we go, this thing's going to come up here and probably kill us. And he said, I told the guy next to me, hey, get ready, something's coming up the mesa. He said, I saw it, and it never came up and physically attacked them or anything. And of course, that was another thing. One thing I want to mention before I give it to you for a minute, for however long, Rye, was they brought a guy there that was either a priest or some type of religious, of another sect, either Catholicism or something else. But he was a gentleman who wanted to come in, and they allowed him, which they normally wouldn't do. And they said that he came in, and they told him, you know what, sir, the beings that are here don't like when, we have religious people here and they talk out loud and try and remove whoever they are. And he said, well, we'll give it a try anyway. And they're like, okay, man, we just don't forget we warned you. And he started, talking about, or not talking, he started, giving chants or whatever. And all of a sudden they said, out of the blue, there was just this huge roar, and this thing came up, and he didn't see it, but right up to where it would be right in front of your face, and just was roaring at this guy. And he had like curled up in a ball on the ground and was horrified, and said, get me out of here after it occurred. I want to go, get me out of here. And they were like, we warned you, brother, man. We told you, don't, if you come up here and you start, doing your thing, that these things don't like you to do that. So that was one of the things I wanted to mention there as well.
Did you touch on, like, I know you touched on the eyes, but did you touch on like the predator entity as well? That
no, I did not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was another time when they had thermal imaging equipment, and they saw this large creature was watching them from a tree, but they could not see it with the naked eye. Only when they had the infrared camera on, they could clearly see a heat signature. And they said it was a large bipedal type entity. One of them described the entity as being similar to the Predator, like how it looked.
I did hear that.
Yeah. And they said, like, almost like it was cloaked and shimmering, like it was trying to blend with the environment. And they said, as they approached it, as you would, as you'd walk and approach these things, they said it just vanished completely. So that was
one of the craziest.
Right now, there's another thing, and I've heard about this before: sentient black mist. Okay, so this is something I have actually personally seen as well. Now, they said it was a reoccurring phenomena in this area, was this dark smoke-like mist that it seemed to move with purpose. And what I saw myself, I saw something it was when I lived in back in Canada, and this was years and years ago, probably like 2006, 2007. I saw this mist in the corner of the room, like moving around. It wasn't like smoke. It was like, think Venom almost kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So in this one specific incident, they saw this large black cloud forming just above the ground, and it just came out of nowhere. Now, instead of like dispersing like a normal cloud or mist would, this thank you. It moved like a living entity. They said it was twisting and shifting, almost as if it was observing them. They also said that on several occasions, some of the people that had witnessed this, they said that they had come over with this intense dread and sickness after encountering it. And one scientist who had approached it, he claimed that he felt as if it was mentally probing or scanning him. And this reminds me of the Beast of Bray Road, which I believe is somewhat near this location. It's not too close, but it's somewhat near. There is a black mist reported as well. Lee Hempel reports on a black mist on his property, which is really interesting. Seeing that there, this is something that it comes around. It's crazy. Now, a lot of these people who have gone and researched the Bigelow Ranch, or Skinwalker Ranch, as we'll actually call it, they said that there were hitchhikers, and I'm sure we've all heard of this. I know Brandy from Blondes and Booze talks about it a lot, and so that's when something follows you home. So a lot of the researchers complained of like poltergeist activity at their homes, shadow figures.
That's why Stacy doesn't want me to go where we've talked about.
Well, you just got to I think you don't invite them back. You have to make sure you do it in a way that you don't invite them back. So, like electronic disturbances, TVs and lights are turning on and off by themselves, hearing strange voices and whisperings in your house. And which is crazy, because lights turning on and off by themselves reminds me of, so in this house that I saw that black mist, we, for about 4 to 5 months, I swear to God, I thought I was going insane. We would have the light in our bedroom turn on and off, and it was a ceiling fan, and it would go it would change its intensity, and the light would go dim, and it would just keep changing. It would turn on, turn off, and dim up, like brighter, and this went on about. It would start sometimes at 1 a.m. and go to maybe 3, 4 a.m.
That's nuts.
For like 4 to 5 months. So I wouldn't say it was every night, but maybe 40% of the time this would happen. Like, we're talking, you're not getting sleep at night, because of that.
I'm sure.
And you're also like freaking out too. And yeah.
You would not want to try and go to sleep.
No, exactly. Crazy. Yeah.
Let's jump back on here, because obviously, and we will jump back into the other things that occurred.
Yeah.
I wanted to also mention in 2016, and this leads up to what's going on today with the shows that are going on in 2016, and I love the name of what the gentleman. Brandon Fugel chose. That's the owner of the property right now.
The new owner, yes.
Yeah, he's a huge guy that owns a property real estate, one of the biggest in the country. The guy is like a billionaire. His real estate company, it's called Adamantium Real Estate LLC. Anybody that knows about comic books and Wolverine, adamantium is the metal that is over his bones, and his claws are covered with adamantium. And I love that he's obviously, and he has mentioned that he's a comic geek. He purchased Skinwalker Ranch from Robert Bigelow in 2016. 2016 to present, Brandon Fugel, a real estate developer and tech investor, owns the ranch. In 2019, the History Channel greenlights, and it's going on to this day, the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch series. In 2020, the first season of Secret of Skinwalker Ranch premieres on March 31st, 2020. 2022, Fugel announces a partnership with the Hutchings Museum Institute to study the ranch's environment and history. In 2023, season 4 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch premieres on April 18th, 2023. 2024, season 5 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch premieres April 23rd, 2024. And I'm just going to read through these real quick. The Secret of Secret of Skinwalker Ranch series 2019. History Channel and Prometheus Entertainment began filming Secret of Skinwalker Ranch in 2020. The first season of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch airs on the History Channel. Let's see. I don't need to read the rest. It just talks about when History Channel and blah, blah, blah. So, if you guys have watched these shows, if you haven't, I'd highly recommend it. And they have another kind of offshoot show that has jumped from there. I forget what it's called. Anybody that wants to jump into the chat and let me know. It's got a gentleman who is a really big he's big in like flying all over the world, and he's a
Not
big,
Joshua Gates.
no. I love Josh Gates, but
Me too.
this guy is like he's one of those press guys that will go to like like war zones and like be into those types of things.
Okay.
Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. Thank you, Carol. Yes, that is it. She's being a huge help. Hi, Semi Pat.
I got a question. I got a question for everyone as well. What is the one that there's a ranch? It's not next to, but it's near Skinwalker Ranch. And the guy is always on the confessionals all the time, and he's invited. And Tony's gone out to his ranch as well. It's like Skywalker, or I don't know. It's kind of like if anybody knows that, can you please put that in the chat as well? I can't remember the name of it.
Me either. I know what you're talking about, Ryan,
Yeah.
but I can't think of it either. We got great
Not
people
important.
here.
Mhm.
I want to throw this in here real quick. Lee Crisp. Hi, Lee. What do you think about the Gaza pyramids? Have you heard about the possibility of finding structures underneath them? I do. I do believe that there are structures that are under them. I think.
Well, they did sonar. They did these SARS. I think it's called SARS, like sonar or something like that. And they've located these huge cylindrical tubes going down underneath not the main, not the Great Pyramid, but it's a secondary pyramid.
Mhm.
And they've noted that there's like temples within it as well. And then at the bottom, there's like these large cubes. And these tubes that are going down, there's like a spiral kind of walkway on each one of them. Now, I think we need to look further into that to be sure. I've always said, though, that you have to imagine that the engineering of those pyramids had to be fantastic. No, it's not Blind Fog Ranch.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah. I don't think so.
So it has to be an amazing feat of engineering to build the foundation of it. So I've always wondered, like what you see above, you're going to have to at least double that below for the foundation, because it has to maintain the weight, so it's not going to sink. I know it's on sand. Sand is usually not a bad thing to build on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Things will sink.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure either.
Carl Crusher Space Radio Ranch. It's space. There's space in there. There is Michelle M's. There is. It's similar to that. It's like space something, but don't quote me on that one.
Carl,
it's not Bradshaw Ranch. It's not Bradshaw Ranch.
That's the Absorbing Man. That's Carl Creel, the Carl the Crusher Creel. He's the Absorbing Man in Marvel Comics. I love that name. That's cool. Bradshaw Ranch?
No,
that's not it either.
It's not important. It's not important right now, but yeah. So where do we pick up now? We're picking up at the at it being sold, right? So Bigelow sold it to
Brandon Fugel.
And
they have the crew that's on there right now. And let's see, they've got, let me see, they have the crew that's there. And like I was saying, so, and the show that's on there right now is, again, sorry, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. And let me bring up, because some of the people that are working on it, Secret, and we'll put up the cast because there are some really, so Travis Taylor, he is one of the most intelligent people on the planet. He's got a PhD in optical science and engineering. He's also an aerospace systems engineering aerospace engineer and author of extensive work in aerospace. You also have Eric Bard. He is one of the principal investigators and chief scientist on the show.
Okay, sorry. Space Wolf Research property. That's what it is. Space Wolf Research.
Did somebody
Ranch.
say that?
No, I found it. I went and did it. I Googled Tony Merkel video movie because he did a movie there, which was The Shape of Shadows.
Okay.
Yeah, Space Wolf. I knew I was thinking like Skywalker, but no, it's space. Yes.
Yeah. So, and thank you, Rye, for that. Travis Taylor is again one of the most intelligent people involved with aerospace and things like that. And the crew that they have there right now, I guess, are just as smart or smarter than the NIDS crew that they had there. And some of the things that they've been finding is, not only underneath, they have radioactive stuff underneath, and they found out that there was high concentrations of radioactive things when do you guys remember on one of the episodes at the beginning, he lifted that concrete kind of circular kind of thing off of one of the ranch houses, and he got within only like seconds of opening it. I think it was like 30 seconds. He got radioactive burns all over his arm and face. They used the just like you were talking about, Rye. They used at the pyramids in Gaza. They used the I forget the
ground penetrating,
it's like the ground penetrating radar that they utilize, and they use that, and there's like a football shaped something underneath. And then when they've been firing things like rockets up in the sky, they're either hitting something solid or the rockets are being, sent in other directions from something. And there's something intelligent. They've recorded. You can go on it and look. They've been recording, these rockets being sent in directions that, and there's no reason for it happening the way that it's been happening, and they're just dumbfounded for what's going on. And this Brandon Fugel is a man that's very intelligent, and you don't become a multi-millionaire, billionaire if you're not a person that's intelligent and just don't believe any kind of crazy story. He's obviously very intelligent, and he's looked into many, many different possibilities. And the group that he has there, he has, saying, hey, he's like, guys, tell me the truth. Do you think this is possible, that there could be, other intelligences doing things here? Or do you think it's just, this or that? They're being honest with him. At first we're being, skeptical of things, but there's really no other explanation for some of the things that have gone on, except that there's got to be another, somebody or something causing these things to happen. Yep. And they've seen portals open. They've seen, UFOs. Of course, they're saying UAPs, but I'm from the generation of UFOs. They're the same thing. Yeah. I say UFO. So
it's a flying object that's just unidentified. Right. Yeah.
So, what do you think, Rye? Do you think that they know more than they're allowing the general public to see?
I believe so. I think if they let it out that, oh, we have a doorway here to another world, you're going to get a flood of a lot of people, and they like that's happening already. I think they're just filtering as best as possible so they, so it's not as crazy as it could be,
Right.
It's yeah.
What do
Something
you
like that.
guys think in the chat? Do you think it's the same old thing that even though it's not the government,
Mhm.
ruling these guys, do you think that they're hiding things from us as, excuse me, from us as well? Which really pisses me off too, if
Yeah.
they're doing that. Now, are they being threatened in any way?
Well,
Is that why?
it could be just a gentle disclosure. There's a slow, gentle disclosure that I think is happening, and is what they're doing, and they're like, okay, or they just don't really know. And how much can you say if you don't know what you're actually seeing? If you're actually seeing some stuff, you're like, I have no idea what it is. What am I supposed to say? You
Right.
know, yeah, there's predators that are coming through here,
Yeah.
but where are they coming from? I don't know. Like that
And going back about that, not to cut you off, right?
yeah,
But
no, no,
have
no.
have you guys seen some of the and I've mentioned this on some of the live streams we've done recently. Some of the there's what is it? A Flash of Beauty is a Sasquatch documentary that's come out not too long ago. It was put out by oh geez, by Brett and his wife. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed that I'm messing up. Um, Brett Eichenberger and hold on, I'll tell you their names real quick. And Jill Remscheid. Oh, I don't want to say their name wrong. Um, Jill Remschneider, and her husband is Brett Eichenberger. They own a production company, and they put out a really good piece of work called "The Flash of Beauty." It's a Bigfoot
Like a
documentary,
documentary. Okay.
and there is an area, or not an area. There is a part of it that has been getting a lot more views. It shows, it's just a small part, but it
Hmm.
shows like a almost predator effect of branches moving and something moving through them. And there's also, if you go on YouTube and you look, and there is if you put in predator effect Bigfoot, something like that, there is a recording of this one woman where they're talking about her seeing a Bigfoot go through, and I'm so sorry, I'm like being not perfect about this, but and what I'll do is I'll look and find the exact video. I have it somewhere and I will put it on here. I'll find it. I'll let Rye take over. But what
Yeah, no,
happens basically is a woman is taking a couple people through the woods, and she's talking about, we were recording and I was talking about, I had seen basically these trees and branches move, and I saw basically a predator effect. And I believe it was, what happens with Bigfoot. That's how they're able to hide so well from us. And there's other videos where they're starting to find the same thing of Bigfoot or whatever, be a dog man or maybe something completely different, running through the woods and causing, branches and stuff to open up. And you can see that kind of predator effect. And I saw it with my friends when the arm kind of blinked out when I was 14, and it was pretty crazy. Right, but if you want to take over real quick,
yeah, for sure,
I'm
for sure.
fine.
So I'd like to go into another part of the going back to the Skinwalker Ranch. is cattle mutilations. Now, this is something that's been going on for not just isolated to the Skinwalker Ranch, but for a lot of places. And it's like, what are these actual cattle mutilations? What's really happening there? They're precision cuts. Usually like the tongue, the genitals are removed, the tongue is removed, the eyes as well. So, and I just realized that Matt is not here. I thought he was just going to go do something, but he completely is going to go check on something. So fair enough. Let me just fix something up here then. Zoom in on my normal self, adjusting the camera. There. Okay. Reporting live from Mexico, Campeche is Ry Voss. All right. So we have cattle mutilations. Now, so when we go with that, why are they doing cattle mutilations? Like, why are they harvesting these cows, and why are they taking the organ? Sometimes they take out the whole uterus as well, or the of the cow. Now, I have a slight theory on this one. Now, so cattle and humans share a genetic similarity, especially in terms of organ function, blood composition, and immune response. So bovine and human DNA, they actually can be fused in a certain way, which is why cow organs and tissues are sometimes used in medical research. So some biological similarities you're going to find between humans and cattle is bovine insulin was used in diabetes treatment before synthetic insulin. Cow heart valves, I'm sure everybody, those are commonly used in human heart surgeries. So cows and human also have similar adrenal and thyroid gland structures. Cow fetal cells have been tested in cloning experiments, suggesting compatibility. So that's something, that is where I'm headed with this. So if extraterrestrials or secret groups are involved in cattle mutilation, some possibilities include genetic harvesting for human alien hybrids. So cattle organs, tissues, and blood might be extracted for experiments for hybridization or genetic modification. Now, if extraterrestrials were trying to create or modify a species, they might need material from both human and cattle due to the biological compatibility. And so instead of like stealing people and cutting off parts of people, they're practicing on the cows to see if they can do this. Now, some abductees have reported that the aliens conduct reproductive experiments. So it is possible they're also experimenting on cattle for the same purpose. Also, what else we got here? Cattle cells, or like the cattle uterus, or can be used as incubators for human babies. So think of human alien hybrids or genetically modified organisms. They can use the cows for that. So that is a theory that I have. Now, a lot of the cows are found drained of blood, so suggesting that blood harvesting could be part of this process. Since human blood is similar to the bovine hemoglobin, cattle might be used to study genetic mutations, blood chemistry, or heck, even like longevity experiments. Some reports have said that cattle brains and spinal cords are removed as well, which potentially indicates that they are doing some sort of neurological research. So it's really interesting as to why this is happening.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Now, yeah. So it's like the precision of how the removal and the lack of blood at these mutilation sites, it definitely suggests that there is some sort of advanced scientific purpose happening rather than a predator attack. Like this is not a predator. Yeah. So because cattle might be a biological bridge due to their genetic compatibility. That's something I've thought of. They could be this bridge between us. Something to think about.
You know what? I will, just to let you guys know real quick, I will get that and put it in the description for this live the actual the links to those videos after we go off, because I can't find exactly. I don't want to be sitting here doing this as the show's going on. But there was also a really cool one in another show where a lady actually from Ohio, not far from here, was up in a tree. And I don't know if anybody ever saw it. She was up in a tree hunting, and she noticed, she likened it to saran wrap going from tree to tree, and she tried to take a picture of it and got a little bit. And her husband, ironically, was actually a visual. I forget his actual term, but basically he was like a PhD that worked on visual types of things. And he looked at the camera and said, this camera doesn't even have the ability to take pictures of this type, and something strange. So all kinds of weirdness were connected with it. And again, I don't want to get off where we're going with this, but the predator thing and the types of connections to it makes no surprise to me at all that it was happening on Skinwalker Ranch. And I mean, there's so many different things that we're obviously not going to be able to even touch on.
Yeah,
that we won't even remember. If anybody here can think up anything that we missed that you'd like us to touch on, and cast documentaries, same to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. What clip, Carol, are you referring to?
Oh,
sorry, Ryan, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no problem.
What's up, Masochist Mouse? I hope I didn't if I didn't say hi to you earlier, hello.
So I'm gonna continue on here with this then. So back with the Shermans, there was another incident, disappearing and reappearing bulls. So this was, I don't know the exact date, but of course it was in the 90s, because they had that from, I think it was like 94 to 96.
That's a crazy one. I'm happy you're going to this one.
Yeah. So Terry and Gwen were driving past a corral where they had these 4 huge bulls. And Terry actually said to his wife, "I'd hate to lose those bulls." They drove a little further down the road, but minutes later, when they turned back to look at the bulls, they had vanished without a trace. So, of course, Terry was freaking out, and he knew that moving one bull would be difficult, let alone 4. So they searched the entire field, looking for them. There was no signs of broken fences or tracks leading away, nothing. But eventually, they found the bulls stuffed into a small locked metal trailer that was that they should not have been able to fit inside. No, and the trailer door was locked from the outside. They said the bulls were like in this trance, like hypnotic type of state, motionless, as if they were sedated. And when Terry called to them, they just kind of like snapped out of it and panicked and kicked down the sides of the trailer. And I think they kicked down the sides of the trailer to escape. He said there was no possible way these bulls could have entered this trailer on their own, especially without a disturbance or anything, without leaving tracks. So that is a crazy, crazy one. And it was talking about that A-port again, like that I was mentioning earlier.
It was absolutely incredible. Same to you, Stefan. Hello to everybody in Uruguay. I love getting people all the way from different countries. And I had just told Chase that he had asked if I could go into the dream I had with the dog man. And I believe it was an out of body experience, because it was so real. I told him I will do that at the very end. But
just a side note that in first week of April, I'll be re-releasing Matt's interview that I did when I was part of the other podcast. I reimagined it, redid it all. I got it all ready to rock and roll. Matt and I did a new intro to it as well. So if you guys want to hear a very in-depth of his encounter, of course you can find it on his channel, or you can check it on my channel on April 3rd.
I can't wait, man, to see it. Rye does a great job. Yeah, I will love to be watching that as well.
That is awesome.
Dirty Dovey says, and if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. Military invisibility cloak technology, and they do have it now, or advanced camouflage, aims to render military assets undetectable to various sensors, including visual and thermal imaging by manipulating light and heat. And they're talking about that they actually have that ability on new kinds of tanks that they have rolling out, which is absolutely scary to think that you have a tank rolling out and they are unable to see it. That's crazy.
Buenas noches, Stefan. Hablas español? I think Stefan is from Uruguay. I believe that is Spanish. So, bienvenido.
See, signature. This was part 2 to what Dirty Dovey said. This is achieved through techniques like adaptive camouflage, light bending materials, and thermal signature masking. Yes.
I've watched a thing where they do it. They can do it with mirrors, like just a simple disappear, like a stage trick with mirrors. It's fascinating. It's really, really interesting.
And thank you again, Chase. Just to let you know, this is because some people, see in videos that were done a long time ago, and I've been getting a lot of oh, thank you, Dirty Dovey. Dirty Dovey, I appreciate it. Dovey, what did I say it right? I forget. Dovey. Now I forget which one I said correctly. Darn it. Dovey. Oh, so I'll say it. Is it Dovey? That's 1, or Dovey 2? Tell me which one.
So is it 1 Dovey or 2 Dovey? Yes.
Now I forget. Sorry. So what happened? Okay.
Dovey.
So that was the first one. Thank you, brother. So people see my older videos and they see that I was sick and stuff. Just to let you guys know, I'm not sick anymore. This is the healthiest I've been in years, but thank you for the prayers and the well wishes. I can always use them.
So Stefan lives in Uruguay and he speaks Espanol, and he watches it with subtitles after. So
what's he saying here, right?
So si hablo español siempre veo los videos subtítulo de Matt. So he watches. He speaks Spanish and he always watches the videos with the subtitles, Matt. So that's what he said there. And this one, I don't know. My Spanish isn't as good as it should be.
I see Dogman.
Since he saw the video with your Dogman experience, and he said it was very impressed. He was very impressed with it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here. PG63, is that how the magician made the Statue of Liberty disappear with mirrors, David? I don't know. I don't know.
There's some things that these magicians do
that are incredible
that I'm not sure is like I literally think it's not tricks. I think it's actual magic that they're able to do some of this.
I agree, Rye. I think some of it is 100% real magic. I don't see how they can like just, oh yeah, I used a mirror here. I think some of it is real, and obviously from some of us here who have had real stuff happen. Right, you've had some crazy stuff happen to you. That we all know with some of the crazy experiences out there, like what happened to me and my friends, and there's a really crazy world out there that a lot of people have no idea is out there. Trust me when I tell you, and Rye can tell you, anything is possible.
It's
Anything.
true. And when I was talking about Aport earlier, when things disappear and reappear, like some of the magician stuff that they do when they throw like a card through a window and then it appears on the other side.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I've seen certain magicians float off the ground.
Yes, their levitation.
Now they say, well, I'm delving into the Earth's magnetic, field, but that's still like magic. I mean, that's like a mutant ability or something.
Yeah.
That's insane. And you see the people that witness it, their reactions. Those aren't fake reactions. You see them.
Sorry, I don't understand Griffin Eagle's comment there, so I'm trying to read it. I lost the nerve to the detail of that. I mentioned on a stream once. Reason it's believable would be to some the extra content is adding on subjects for other topic of the place. I don't know what you're talking about, Griffin Eagle. I'm sorry. Dirty Dovey. I can do David Blaine's levitation trick. There's a how-to.
Crazy.
Okay. Oh, such as living in the house that was a court for sentencing smugglers in Kent. Oh, okay. Interesting.
In Kent, Ohio, Griffin Eagle? Or are you saying Kent in Europe?
So
yes,
on a side note, I've been pretty excited about this, and I'm gonna pump this up. So just this on Tuesday, I'm not sure if all you guys know that I bought some bees and I've been raising bees. And on Tuesday, I got to harvest my honey for the first time. So I got 13 liters, which is just over 3 gallons of honey. And then also today I was taking the leftover and making wax. So I got a little luchador. Yeah, I have these silicone luchador containers, and so I used that. But I thought it was pretty cool.
That is super cool.
Yeah,
I love it. At first, Rye showed it to me before we started, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Spider-Man!" Then he's like, "No, it's a luchador," and that was my second guess.
Yeah. So that I'm dabbling in a lot of stuff, trying out new things. Why not? Yeah.
So guys, before I get to what the request for my out of body experience is, does anybody have any more questions about Skinwalker Ranch before I go into that real quick? And if you have any questions,
I have a question though. So what do you think is happening at Skinwalker Ranch? Let's go with, this is speculation, pure speculation. There's no right or wrong answer, as what's his name, Wes would say from the Sasquatch Chronicles. There's no right or wrong answer.
Right.
What do you think is happening? What do you think is happening at Skinwalker Ranch?
Me?
Yeah.
You know what? I think, as is, there's ley lines that run underneath certain areas in the world, and I think some of them have thicker ley lines, like there's larger ones, and under those ley lines, obviously those places have certain, they've looked it up, and obviously there are more things of high strangeness that go on underneath these ley lines. I think I'm not sure how big the ley lines are there, but let's forget about what I just said with the ley lines. I think underneath Skinwalker Ranch, for what other reasons, and obviously they've talked about this on the shows as well, there are other spots throughout the world that have the exact type of things that occur on Skinwalker Ranch in those other spots. I wish I had the lists of those places. There's not many. There's a few. I think for whatever reason that causes these events, these beings of other dimension, there's a strong multi-dimensional, be it underneath either metals or a combination of metals and rocks. Like, when they talk about hauntings underneath some houses, or neighborhoods have a lot of hauntings, they talk about limestone. It's one of the stones that actually causes a lot of hauntings to happen. You can look that up. I think that for whatever reason, whatever combination of things that happen there, beings from other dimensions and farther out in space utilize this area to come in and out to get to our place. I was just thinking of the name of it. They utilize our plane of existence for whatever reason, be it energy. I was watching something really interesting earlier. They talk about a lot of times there will be UFOs seen by say volcanoes when there are earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. And this person spoke about the reason they think is not because the UFOs are causing these events to happen. They believe that because when these events are happening, they release so much energy that possibly these beings are utilizing their technology to take some of that energy for whatever reason. And
Interesting.
It's unbelievable. Can you imagine how much energy is released when an earthquake happens or a volcanic eruption happens?
Yeah.
And if you have the energy or the technology to take some of that, it's like endless energy. I just think, again, like I said, I just think that plane of existence there in that area, it's just a part of this world that the veil is thinner there, and beings can come in and out much easier than other spaces.
Now, here's something like the Skinwalker Ranch is on the 40th parallel. Okay. Now, the significance of that is it's home of the pyramids and the Sphinx. So the 40th parallel is Giza. Also, the tip of the Bermuda Triangle, the northern tip, is on the 40th parallel. What else is other paranormal hotspots are close is the Nevada Triangle, which is home to Area 51, the Bridgewater Triangle, the Dugway Proving Grounds, which is Utah's new Area 51. They're all near the 40th parallel. So perhaps when you're talking about ley lines, there's something like something to tie in with that as well.
That's interesting. Like, yeah, I just think there's, again, like I said, there's multiple things that are occurring there. And whatever, number of reasons that they're all happening is, that recipe of all those different things are happening in that space and a couple others on the planet that are being utilized by these different beings for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. It really is. Now,
there you go, Rye.
Yeah. So thank you for translating to Matt. Maybe there's a day you can investigate the Estancia La Hora Hubo. This one I don't know. Encounter la the third type of. So it's the third type, and study Neil Armstrong in Uruguay. So the case of the Estancia La Hora. I'm terrible with vowels in Spanish. Let's just say that.
Let's see. P. Gene has a comment. They ought to use the satellite tech to look under. I believe they already have. I think they've been studying that area, and again, there are people with each group. when it was NIDS before the group
Yeah.
that's there now. They have people that have worked for the government that have specifically been looking there. Trust me, they've utilized their technology to see that.
Stefan was saying that sorry, I got it now, that there is, like, when I said like the like there's the fourth kind, so it was like a in-person meeting of Neil Armstrong in Uruguay with aliens.
Oh, okay.
I never heard of that. Okay, that's interesting. That is and also aliens that have cured cancer. Okay. There we go. There we go. Stacey got
tell
it.
Matt if one day he can investigate a case from Estancia La Aurora. There was a meeting of the third kind, and Neil Armstrong was here in Uruguay. I would love to come to Uruguay, and you know what? I have a brother-in-law who has a history channel. It's called Vlogging Through History with Chris Mowry, and he has his people from his channel send him all over the world, literally,
Cool.
to visit. So if you guys want me to go, in other places all over the world to visit and do research and go to specific spots to do stuff, send me. I will be more than happy to do it. I'd love to go where Rye is and in Mexico and meet up with
Campeche,
them.
Mexico. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
if
some,
you guys want me to go, send me, guys. I'm willing to do it.
we can go investigate Uxmal and Etzna, and Chichen Itza is overrun, but we can go to Mayapan as well. Yeah.
No, Dirty Dovey, he does not. It's Vlogging Through History with Chris Mowry, Mowry, and it's Chris Mowry.
No. So, oh, I did not
see the test flight of Neil Armstrong when he encountered. No, I did not. I would love to see it.
Let's get into your dream. Let's get into the dream.
So yeah, we're getting up to the point we're gonna have to get going here because Rye has some stuff to do, and I have a new video, guys, that I'm gonna be releasing if I can get to it tomorrow, and you guys are gonna like it a lot. I hope you love it. So I have to get to it and finish editing. So what happened to me? Had a lot of people ask me if I have had any more experiences with the dog man that attacked me and my friends when I was 14. And it's probably now to the point, I'd say about a year and a half now. So you guys know, when you have dreams, you in your dream know that you're at home, but it never really is never your home, correct? You guys know what I mean. So in your dream, you'll normally say, oh yeah, I'm at home, but it never looks like you're home. Well, I didn't know I was dreaming because I was at home. It was 100% my home. And I went out in my backyard. We have woods behind our home, and we have a chain link fence that encompasses our back. Where our fence and our neighbors are, it's cut off so our doggies couldn't get out and run away. And in this happenstance, what occurred? I had gone outside because I was hearing strange noises, and I went up to the back fence, which overlooked the deep part of the woods, and it was nighttime. And what happened was, I was looking around, and all of a sudden it got very crazy. I started to see light. We had a light on the back of our fence, like, a security light, and it was on, and I saw the sky, and I was being basically whipped around. Somebody or something had a hold of me, and it was flipping me around, and all of a sudden I got thrown to the ground on my back, and I literally felt the wind get knocked out of me. I felt pain. I couldn't breathe for a few seconds. And I looked up, I was looking up at the sky, and I looked down, and I noticed there was exactly what had attacked me and my friends when I was 14, crawling up towards me. And, anybody that does not know or that does know, in April of 2022, I unfortunately had a really bad health issue where I lost my right leg below the knee. And this thing through my pants, bit my prosthetic, ripped out in between its mouth, its bottom jaw and higher, and ripped my pants and whipped it, threw it into the woods. And then after it did that, it crawled up on top of me. And at one point, while it was crawling up on top of me, it dripped saliva literally into my mouth, and I tasted it in my dream. It tasted like salty slime. And I almost felt like I was going to throw up in my dream. And I saw in color because its eyes were glowing, the orange, amber color. It was 100% looked the same as this thing looked when I was 14. And it crawled up and it put its forehead as close to mine as where there barely was any room, where it basically was about to touch my forehead. And then what occurred next was it did what I've heard so many times in High Strangeness. It did mind speak to me. And what I heard, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I also did. Everyone has asked me, did you smell the thing when you were 14? Because, everyone hears these shows with Sasquatch. Did you smell anything? Yeah, we smelled all this, smelly dog and skunk. I didn't smell anything when I was 14. Well, in this dream that I had, this out of body experience, I smelled the best thing I could explain was, if you've ever gone to a farm or like a fair, and they have farm animals there. It wasn't overwhelming. It just smelled like a horse or a cow. And that's the smell I smelled. And it put its head like that close to mine, its forehead. And it looked at me and my eyes, and it did mind speak. And it sounded like an extremely deep, almost like there was an electric synthesized kind of sound to its voice. And it said to me, "You speak of me too much." And it said, "You speak of me too much. I came after you when you were 14, or it said, I came for you when all those years ago." Okay, I got it. I came for you after all. I'm getting off. Sorry, guys. I want to say it exactly correct. You speak of me too much. I came for you all those years ago. You will see me again. That's exactly what it said. And I woke up. I had my puppy, my young dog, Hadley. It was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, which is during the witching hour, correct? Isn't that? She had her front paws on my legs. I was in my chair. I was sweating profusely. I was soaked. They always talk about dogs and other animals' consents, high strangeness and paranormal, supernatural. Her ears were down. Her tail was all the way curled beneath her legs, and she was looking at me, and she was crying. She was, crying. And I was shook, very, very affected by this. And I was paranoid for months from this. I have not seen it again. It has obviously not changed me. I've spoken about it, but
when was that again? That happened, that dream?
It was about a year and a half ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's actually important that you speak about it, for that very reason that you got a reaction from it for speaking about it. You know, like it lashed out at you because you're talking about it.
For
You know, you
sure.
yes. So I think it's important that you are speaking about it, if that makes sense. I'm sure you figured
Yeah,
that
it
out too.
does. Yeah, and I've had a number of people reach out to me that have heard me talk about this on other videos, and they've said to me everything from "you should stop" to "don't stop" to you know, this thing is connected to you in every way. You will always be connected to it, so there's really no reason for you to stop. Um, I've heard every kind of opinion
Yeah.
since I've talked about it, but it was everyone. It was the realest, most real thing I can ever explain to all of you. I don't know what else to say. I really felt like it was going on for real. And the only reason I know it was not is when I woke up and I was sitting in my chair. It was crazy. It was absolutely nuts. And I've never had a dream like that or out of body experience other than when I literally, my wife doesn't like me talking about this much because it's very you know, negative to her and my daughter, but I had a real near death experience after I had my leg removed. Something bad happened. I the artery blew in my leg not long after I had my leg amputated, and my wife was driving the car. My daughter was in the back, and my heart had stopped. I bled out over 2.5 pints of blood, and they watched me die in my wife's car, and she doesn't like me discussing it for obvious reasons. They were really very changed from this event. And there she is right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, other than that, you know, and I saw my mom and dad, just to let you guys know, it was, and one day I'll go into, you know, really deep discussion about it, but you know, it was absolutely insane. It was also very beautiful in different ways. There was very
Mm.
negative and beautiful. It changed my family's lives forever. Um, but it was different, very different in different ways. But yeah, so that's there you go.
Yeah. That's you have a ton of experiences, like very life-changing experiences, you
Very
know,
much.
things.
And
Yeah.
Stacy said to me last night, she's like, you know what, Matt, you got to write a book. You have to write a book. And
Yeah.
I'm going to. I'm going to. You know, I've had so many things happen to me, you know, 33 surgeries after, you know, now, you know, I just have in Dirty Dovey, you know, I've thought about having regression hypnosis. I don't know. I've had hypnosis therapy in the past, and I've never had anything occur. I thought it was silly because no one has ever been able to get me to go
To
out.
go on. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I've had quite a few. And P. Gene, I love that comment. Yes, it was for invading my space. Let's see here, Griffin Eagle. You can tell someone who believes what they say, then those with detail not needed. Watching Matt is a plus to know this. Thank you, Griffin Eagle. You know what? And I just want to say, um, you know, I appreciate all of you. My wife saying, I think you have always been so sensitive and observant as well. You seem to see things we all just ignore. Stacy, thank you for saying that. You know, she's always been weirded out by things that I've been doing from the time we've been dating. You know, we started dating when we were very young. I met her when I was 19. I think we started dating. We were both 19. It was a second year in college, the both of us. I was playing football at Youngstown State University, and she was a majorette. And I always, for years, always freaked her out. I have premonition abilities and always noticed things like details, and she's always been weirded out by stuff, but it's true. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know.
It is. Yeah. You got a knack for things. You're in tune. You're kind of like tuned into the frequency that needs to, that maybe some of us, and it's not like we all don't have that ability. We do, but I think that you're just tuned in a little more. It's kind of like a muscle almost that, that you recognize it and you're using it more than others. So I think that's I think that's
well
great.
put, well said. And I'm glad I am. And thank you, Dirty Dovey. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Everybody that has come tonight, Dirty Dovey said, I am the Highlander. There can only be one.
I know, when I saw that comment, that's exactly what I was thinking. There can only be one.
I had a really good time, everybody, tonight. I can't thank you guys enough for coming. Rye, you want to let everybody know what's going on with the Codex of Curiosities here?
Yeah, just weekly episodes, audio every Tuesday, video every Thursday, and some bonus episodes on Sunday. So I had BJ Lapierre. I interviewed her recently, and her episode will be coming out April 13th. So there she is right there. So yeah, she had some great experiences as well.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So I got
BJ's
that. And
a great person.
Fantastic. And she did great. She was a little nervous, but she did great. Yeah. So I got it all ready, all locked and loaded, uploaded. And if you're a member on my channel, you already get early access to that one. And that's another thing. If you're a member on Patreon or YouTube, you get early access. I know DJ is a member on my channel, so he gets early access to all the episodes. As soon as I've uploaded them, you can watch them.
Dirty
right?
Dovey just subbed
Can't wait
to
to see what you all have in store. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you, Dirty Dovey. Yes.
Thank you, everybody, again for showing up.
Yeah, and again, actually, my channel, Codex of Curiosities. There we go.
And just to let you guys know, and Rye's been on my butt about it. Stacy's helping me. The merch is gonna be here in a week. No, it really is. Stacy,
and you know what's the opposite of this? In a week, my merch store is shutting down.
Why?
They wanted a lot more information that I cannot provide now.
Oh.
And so I have to shut it down. I'm going to open up a new one. Maybe I'm going to check out Fourth Wall like you're using as well. So I need to get my butt on that and get my merch back out again. Yeah.
And thank you guys that are all sending sweet. You're going to get some awesome merch if you want to buy stuff from Planet 412. It is on the way. Definitely.
Yeah. Muchas gracias, Stefan. Stefan is saying that he can't wait till it's over. This episode is over, so he can watch with Spanish subtitles.
Oh, well, you guys did a great job. Again, thank you everybody that came tonight. There's Rye's link right there.
Thank you, Stacy.
Absolutely. Him and I are great friends. We love doing these live streams together.
I do like doing them.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
and again, everybody, thank you for coming tonight. Love everybody. See you guys later. Rye, thanks again, man.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it greatly helps out the channel. I'll see you next time on Planet 412.